Hi, my name is Tascha Bond, and I'm the Multimedia Journalism Instructor and Advisor of SE Student Publications here at Southeastern Oklahoma State University. October is National Domestic Violence Awareness Month. It's usually the time of the year that you hear more about this social issue that affects so many of us every single day. My goal is that we can have open conversations about domestic violence and dating violence on our campus, and I feel blessed to have the opportunity to share my experience with you, as well as details about the importance of healthy relationships, especially for college students. A survey conducted by the Independent Women's Forum found that 63% of women hope to meet their spouse in college. So whether you're swiping right or snapping someone you hope you get the chance to spend a little more time with, you are actively seeking a partner, which is normal. It's natural. I did the same thing as a college student right here at Southeastern just a few years ago. I met a very charismatic, charming guy. He was personable, handsome, and he was a great dancer. I'm not sure why that was important to me as a college student, but we dated, we went our separate ways, and then we found our way back to each other a few years later. I was so consumed with the relationship that I really lost a little bit of myself. The relationship in the beginning was full of promises and excitement. We talked about the future and what our forever looked like. But slowly it morphed into something completely different. And honestly, at first, I didn't even recognize what was happening because I had never heard the term red flag. I didn't realize that the power and control he had over me, and then I realized that there was something really wrong with the relationship, but I was in denial, I was embarrassed, and I was scared. So what do those red flags look like? Well, his friends became my friends. He didn't like my friends because he felt that they would maybe try to get me to see other people or go out with them. He thought they were a bad influence, so they were no longer a part of my life. He didn't want me to go home to see my family because he couldn't bear to be away from me. I thought he loved me so much, but in reality, he wanted to control who I was with and what I said to them. He constantly accused me of cheating on him with my coworkers, with friends, or even strangers on the street. What I didn't realize at the time was that he had numerous women on the side. One even showed up at our house once we lived together asking for him, and come to find out, he told her that he lived with his sister. I did try to leave him after that, but then he told me that he would kill himself and that he couldn't live without me, and I couldn't bear to be responsible if he did take his own life. He would always ask who I was with, where I was, what took me so long to get home, almost as if I was being tracked. And this was way before Life 360 or Find My Friends. He called me names, he broke furniture in our house, he held me down physically, he was sexually dominant, and he made me feel as if I had no say. So these are just a few examples. You're probably asking yourself, why did she stay with him? It's a very valid question. The issue is so complex, and so was my story. But our relationship wasn't bad all the time. And when it was good, it was really good. And that's where the cycle of violence comes in. There's a fight or an incident, then apologies and gifts, and then that's when the cycle repeats itself. I thought that I could change him, make him a better man. I thought that if I put in 150%, I could make our relationship work. I made the decision to marry him. But what was an unhealthy relationship became an even more unhealthy marriage. And the power and control continued. The jealousy continued, and the cheating continued, and I felt alone. But again, I thought I could fix my marriage, and I thought I was mentally and emotionally beaten down so much. But you know what? He never hit me. So in my head, I thought there was hope for us. I'm not sure where I came up with that thought process. Maybe it was a Lifetime movie where you knew someone was in an abusive relationship because there were bruises. Well, my marriage didn't have that, so I thought that it wasn't that bad. People have it worse. But that all changed one night, 11 months after we were married. We had the opportunity to go out and celebrate his birthday, and what should have been a fun night was anything but that. He started accusing me of trying to get with his friend, who actually went with us. He became jealous and angered, he stormed out, and so I followed after him. That was the longest car ride home. It's where the name calling began, where he got aggressive. At one point, he pulled the car over and I jumped out, but he chased me and pulled me back in. Once we made it to our home, I tried to get in the house first and lock the door, but he kicked it in. Then he grabbed me by the back of my neck and slammed me face first into the floor. And for the next 3 hours, he continued to beat me and rape me. He told me he was going to kill me, and I believed him. I was beaten so bad that I was unrecognizable. He moved the dryer in front of the back door, the couch in front of the front door. He ripped the phone out of the wall, and he told me that no one was going to save me. And then when he was done, he said, "Let's go to bed." I laid there and waited to make sure that he wasn't going to wake up, because I knew that if he caught me trying to sneak out, that he would kill me. So I crawled out of a window and I ran, and I've never looked back. I filed for divorce, the state pressed charges, and he is currently serving a 52-year prison sentence for the things that he did to me on that night. I went through a period of depression and grief. I was sad for the relationship that ended. I had a lot of issues that I worked on through counseling. I made myself stronger. And then I got really mad at the system, mad at the situation, and mad that for all of his sentencing, he only received 2 years for almost beating me to death. I started to research more on the topic. I served on crisis centers, on boards. I served as an advocate and worked with the State Department of Mental Health and the Oklahoma Coalition Against Domestic Violence. I even appeared on Oprah in 2007. It was the first time that her show discussed spousal rape. I'm a much stronger woman because of my experience. I'm an advocate, I'm a survivor, I'm a college instructor, business owner, real estate professional, mother, and wife. I've been in a very strong, respectful marriage for the last 16 years where there's honesty and trust. I share my experience with you and others so that you'll know you're not alone. If at any time you find yourself in a relationship where you feel belittled, intimidated, disrespected, and controlled, there are people here on our campus and our community that are here to talk to you, to provide resources for you. Contact Student Wellnesses. Contact the local crisis center at 924-3030. Talk to a friend, a family member, or even a professor. We have a support system here that allows you to help break the silence. And I know you need a support system just like I did. 1 in 4 women and 1 in 10 men are going to experience sexual violence, physical violence, or stalking by an intimate partner during their lifetime. Odds are pretty high that you know someone or that someone you love is currently in an unhealthy relationship. It's important to understand that this issue is very complex and you can't fix it for them, but you can be there to support them. If you see something wrong, say something. And as that friend or family member, try saying this: "I'm worried about you and your well-being. If you need to call me at 2 o'clock in the afternoon or 2 o'clock in the morning, please do, and know that I'll be there for you." And then be there for them with no judgment. A victim will go back to his or her abuser on average of 9 times before they're able to leave for good. It's hard to stand by and watch, I know that. But what a glorious day it will be when that victim has the courage and strength to leave for good, and they know they have someone to call or somewhere to go when they're ready to go. Conversations about sexual abuse, physical abuse, and stalking are not easy to have. Trust me, I know. I have 2 daughters. But it's important to have those conversations and to be able to identify a healthy versus an unhealthy relationship. You are more than enough, and you deserve respect, honesty, and kindness in your relationships. I encourage you to start the conversations about domestic violence and sexual violence and help me break the cycle.